Pacheje Gudan Dagi Lu Pacheje Sundan Dagi Nga
Mother, your holy speech and my speech.
Macheje Tudan Dagi
Mother, your holy mind and my mind.
Tayeme Jigdu Chinjilo
Tenyeme chitu jingilo. Mother, please bless me, so that your holy body, speech, and mind, qualities and actions, become inseparable from mine.
Pacheje Gudan Pacheje Sundan Dagi Pacheje Dudan Dagi Tayeme Jigdo Jingi Macheje Macheje Sundan Dagi Macheje Dagi Tayeme Jigdo Jingi
Sangye Tamche Dube Aku Dorje Zimbe Ngowani Uncho Sumge Tsawate Lama Namla Chatselo Tusumo Chochuru Shukpe Lamadan Rinchen Chosumo Chawe Tamchela Teche Mube Tenyang Gatsache Shindo Nyambe Ludru Chatselo Om Namo Manjushri Namo Sushri Namo Tamshri Om Namo Manjushri Namo Sushri Namo Tamshri Om Namo Manjushri Namo Sushri Namo Tamshri
Papa Kenjo Sana Chang Salon Take Take Tibati Ganden Jabeka Chage Pumbera Kelon Kendo Chambota Chando Zembe Kendo Jamona Dojo Chando Zamana Waji Namdoji Dine Danya Aje Chando Zamba Zamba Jamba Waje Waje Do Chamba Zami Javanya Bom ba de da la ya da ji ji do ba na ba da wo de de zo na de ba ja de be jun de zo ba chen bo 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 ji na za wa ji ba de ge ji na zo ji ji kan la la ji do ji ba de da chen ba sa ji ba chen ba de ba ji ji da la ba Sharon the Bala Nigage Mezo Jade Ma de Ma de 刚老到接接保着到行保三米十保十保十保天天那那保到保，不保保那那家那些都保那保，到保到保到保你走那到保，你妈也到保你来家这些妈也那这些那走保那些当的。那保西保那东保西保就到西当就东保，去年没保马西保马保这马没保这马没保刚没保，保就到也那东保你都是没左面的西，明面左面那面几面对面一面是面这面对面入面这些。去面到米给康面包年一节康面一节，南包西北康节不到眼面，马里包面马里包四包面包年个西面个西随便不到眼面多地，东我到广州东河包南面西面都包，我到包眼面都去包，就到阳那前头三包那都包。知道这包就到想包那第几年的生到就包，这包面的拒绝了的强大年给人年包大，就到那包西北上街当街上接着接包就到想包，今天那面包样大包这边上就东我这包上接着的，知道这包就到前面啊里边前面啊，那面边啊面两包那年边啊，东我当街到西包西边。六大节包西包下的西大节包这到西边啊，面包地大，个地不大，个地不大，三个地不地少。下节包下就三包三边西边的到西大节包这到西包三包那包。今年去年今年这一天上就三包金包包。西我就老就说西我今天就说这节包的个那这节包的。这电报见到介绍这包就到先报三报到这包这遇到我中间的今天这高真的这当电报上到这三报金报我这我这大街当电报过这大没大老马也大这这边中间的这三报的路卡拉这边年就当了，那些种种马尾头都，接着我把他们也把些人，那时候看这错了，想着的阿嘎桑马拉扎，想到了桑马拉呀，我怎么了？阿嘎萨玛拉达，香那个萨玛拉呀，别呀他王，嘎杰巴拉，我杰巴拉桑，我杰巴杰多，我不管就说一个，叫人多的，没把这叫这都叫这个把这没的别去，我这的我也多。日就我当面点点别讲当着我当点包着几别说说，日年的年的学呀，个的老军官就都个的着我就早晚的就，学就我关系路上着，这到结婚年就就是。你就那我身体变天的，就是那么几遍中国的大老的别是那么些。你把这些关系就说是这些经过这些弄着，过上那些经久的街道，大别别街那边这边，多的这边天天老小子因我这那做面，这些特别那这叫做我想我也这叫做你这那心中叫那结巴。关系当面的说话也能话也说没给这些那给我当把送姐妹。年年就把这边说小，年年的马的着了这姐姐旁边的姐姐， 我不接接了见在巴拉大家三巴当别也让我接在了马当巴见。我觉得这些呢，这都从别的日子马拉萨接巴瓦达，难道也是一的心巴也所觉高的就那面我也都没能我走我的，随着把那面那点巴就那你今天啥别给我你点当着我干啥干的。给我接在了当着巴也点别你莫两多这些就面面之月的谢谢。
传来前辈红波江边，都跟马连江在上面，往前开别最接上。
巴拉上这边叫老子往前走，光到叫我走后边，对着前的我上的，这往边老早点的给这上往马脚的脚呀，那我忙着呀，连着个说这些。别当别上街这跟着恰到多街讲起老说，就当这我结巴当下年纪上真牛嘛，马上就家见不一这年多都不新鲜，西上家就今天呢就送去叫我这边，见了我往前别老说，你就当这我结巴。能把那拉松就进步，主牛东都把心结了，一想就搞我进去，托你劳动，你别急的老当这把老说，就当这我结巴当下年纪上真进步，拉松就进步，一主牛东都把心结。你有就是不总别着姐点往这边。大地间别叫做老说，你就当这我钱吧。像你这上就人那真就下就钱吧。就娘到我心结了，你这当别的是给点也得上面这边把所姐这老说，就当这我钱吧，当像你这上真就吧。老总就金宝一就娘到把心结，一年就到新年，见面见就过年。满走老总，你就当这我结巴，上年纪上真正把那老总就金宝，就娘到把心结了，姐毛鬼，年天别结真，我上天就把老总。就当这我金宝当下年纪上真就嘛，老总就金宝，就娘到我心结，过上节把他两个我没给个接住个，开着上节一起老说，就当这我金宝当下年纪上真就嘛。老总就金宝，一就娘到我心结。别路上节约点马浪贵点大也面当街，夜间路上去见老说，就当这我结巴当下年纪上真牛嘛。老总就金宝一就娘到我心结，刚到去地区马里往地区的两边大街，说起跟天家在老说，就当这我结巴当下年纪上真牛嘛。家金宝一就娘到我心结，一路上接的你别去，咱这些两边兄弟。特别就这把老说，你就当这我结巴，像你这张真就把那老son就金宝，就娘到我心去老少姐当去弟子归弟也得就当给，姐姐我就这老说，也当这我结巴当像你这张真就嘛。老总就金宝一就娘到我心结，一路上去接你了点别到这些，一路上一些老错，就当这我结巴当下年纪上真就嘛。老总就金宝一就娘到我心结。夜上见闻见心老心，天地上忙年， 结结老大金流老苏，也当的这我金宝大向你一张真经吧。八宗教家家金宝一九娘道道宝心经，一老上结一你结的的你别娘的道心。
真多罗桑那家那
所我你就当的这我
向你结
相信就把大拉松就家就金宝。说娘道道宝心结拉结拉面你就当宝。天马那天东子我天气一些在结拉错。就当这这我结巴当下你结上真经宝。拉松就家就金宝。说娘道道宝心结，老早老忙到天边你我到夜观到见见，也在妈妈想把他说，也当这这我结巴当下你结上真经宝。大松就家家金宝也叫娘道道宝心结，别当别上街往别个一见别去见面的，别见把你也结了说。就当这这我结我当下你结上这牛宝，大宗就家就金宝也说娘道道我心结，东王结郎上用做到自己给准备到时。那就老说，就当这这我结巴当下你结将这牛宝，老宗就家就金宝也说娘道道我心结。一个就当年把一切总结这的身子，也是他妈帮他老说，就当的这我结巴当下你结将身经吧，老孙就家就金宝也就娘道道宝心结，面面一最近面面早上阳气就见面。要结这别都结老说，就当这这我结巴当下你结上真经吧，老僧就家就金宝也就娘道道宝心结，就当一年叫他今年上就一家上我去，开着电子真就老说，就当这这我结巴当下你结上真经吧，老僧就家就金宝。就娘道道宝心结，三郎觉托我的心，写着几天别结心，我让真觉结这老说，也当这这我结巴，像你结上真经吧，老僧就家就金宝，就娘道道宝心结，你当结真面马贵，怕早几天别你吧，我让这这我老说。就当这这我结巴当下你结上真经吧，
那孙觉
家家金宝也就娘道道宝心结，也叫我宁把老张这老妈咪个结那结，一天给的叫做老说，也当这这我结巴当下你结上真经吧。那僧就家家金宝也就娘道道宝心结，那僧当家去见的结果的养老身体，一天我想我老说，也当这这我结巴当下你结上真经吧。那僧就家家金宝也就娘道道宝心结，真别结真别给张给当这些老早身体。根据你没有毛老说，也当这这我结巴当下你结上真经吧，老僧就家就金宝也就娘道道我心结，我老上就一人路就一周结别浪的结，真没有老说，也当这这我结巴当下你结上真经吧。那僧就家就金宝也就娘道道我心结，应该年纪的这娘道结的道结结，姐姐光就结这老说，也当这这我结巴当下年纪上真经吧。
那孙觉家家金
金宝也就娘道道我心结，你面前年少自己接着结天别结结。这些王朝的铁路说， 觉当真知我结果，上年纪上真正报，阿僧就家就进步，出娘多道我心经，王道年月定大三年，立西居居中丢口，用这根的家做罗嗦，觉当真知我结果，上年纪上真正报道，阿僧就家就进步。出娘多道我心经，老金老金快快做那。一年级人月光棒多，俺就对面年毛老嗦，觉当真知我结巴，上年纪上真正把大拉松就叫，道我心经当着个老金别金王，当接天别接天的，也得真的叫做老嗦，觉当真知我结巴，当下年纪上真正把。有年多到我心情，有多年浪多当别去，当忙给这公婆，别尽量当没老嗦，越当这知我结巴，上年纪上身就把老僧就家就进步，出年多到我心情，也叫你别突击结怪定结就叫别。这些老大一些老嗦，就当这知我结巴，上年纪上真正把大，阿僧就家就进步。心结大就多的大把老三，给你那多老，一直的老嗦，也当这知我结巴，上年纪上真正把大，阿僧就家就进步。成长到到我心情了，一直到关闭电视，一年级都结不多，正节杂月拉玛拉索瓦，一当节出瓦结巴，下年节将真中瓦，让孙觉他就进步也就能到到把强家，也拉玛上节走动我，年后我老进步老把。我这个这个今年那的莫大的莫马耶，别总就见着金波的的呢，大把金钱了，把姐姐过大大给，把姐姐送到大给，把姐姐多多大。也多金钱了，马姐姐过大大给的，马姐姐送到大给。马姐姐土当大给，姐妹就多金钱，能罗。
So, just as Chandrakirti said, so as sentient beings from the 6 realms of existence, from the 3 realms, such as the form realm, formless realm, and the desire realm. So the way the source of samsara, it's coming in a state where everyone in samsara is alone, with no help, no support. It's turning around in the moment when one is turning around in samsara alone, without help. In this moment, there is no one as a higher refuge as the Guru and the 3 jewels. By thinking in this way, since this very right moment, take refuge from the depth of your heart into Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the Guru. So, at this moment, as taking a refuge, oneself, as I explained the other days, at our own mind, we have the very subtle mind of clear light, within, and it's inseparable. It's a very subtle wind. This we may be liberated from the cycle of suffering. So you recognize oneself as the very subtle mind of clear light, and with the inseparable wind that is liberated from the sufferings of samsara. So it's very important to take refuge and to say Buddha is the one that is the refuge, that gives the refuge, show us the path. The Dharma, the one, the actual refuge, and the Sangha, the support refuge. By that we take refuge in the rituals. Our true refuge, actual refuge, is the Dharma. And mainly it is the path of the state of cessation and the path. These are the main refuge. So in the moment we don't have the actual state of cessation of nirvana, and we don't have also the actual path or something similar to it. So we start following a similar as the path, so gradually can develop the actual path. So by that, in order to follow such practice, we take refuge also in the Arya Sangha. So by that refuge, taking refuge is extremely important. Then, in order to take refuge, we need to think well about the sufferings of the lower realms of existence, such as that of the hell, of the hungry bulls, and of the animal realm. By thinking about it again and again, then we develop the strong wish that, oh, I want to be free from these states of suffering. Then after, when you think about the suffering of the upper realms, such as of the human realm, of the demigods and the gods, and then we wish, oh, I also want to be free from that also. By developing wish to be free of, generally speaking, from the whole samsara. Then after, we have in the third level, which we request, oh, may I be free from suffering, may I help each and every sentient being to get out of the cycle of samsara. So by that I take refuge. So generally speaking, taking refuge is extremely important. So today we will start with the transmission and explanation of the text, which is called The Coureageus Hero Gaining Liberation by Overcoming the Fears of the Hardest Passage of the Intermediate State. And together with it, we will go also with the commentary of this text. The text is by Panchen Losang Chögyi Gyaltsen, and then the commentary. So first of all, I will give the oral transmission of the root text, which is very short. And then after that, in the commentary that we are going to see, it is the commentary that's it is coming the meaning of every line. So first I will give now the oral transmission.
Geshe Thubten Trinley Jita Chano Nato Chevratos Mijo Toba, country, no one chara, Ronjo Jeji, Jamba, Babe says, Chimene Toba, Shinji Lows, Loganachi, Tumba, Zambanas, Shubu Junction, Nino, Rabatim, Mami and Bandi, no one chavi says, Jeshi, Shura Jeva, Shinji Lows, Noje Toza, Ngama, Shumatim, Dani Mumba, Chande, Nyam Chates, Konde, Tomba Tobi, Nanjo Jis, Rongo Rongi, Shiba, Shinji Lovas, Nieto, Tanji, Tomba, Timbales, Godo, Jiba, Gunshin, Reje Jin, Gentala, Denam, Davi, Nyam Chate, Yasamabu, Cheba, Shinji Lovas, Donji Tiso, Loki, Genro Wes, Sombe Me, Rowan, Jen, Jides, Renche, Deton, Jave, Yeshilas, the Jinyaban Joba, Shinji Lowas, Tele Lonze, Chuve Sachi, Lunse Sone, Sembe Bembawas, Pado Lonche, Dobar, Gujines, Jumetin to Doba, Shinji Lowas, Cateleji Pado, Trojanas, Tado Tabi Sheju, Pado is Dunga Demba maybe Totones, Tono Tabra Chava, Shinji Lowas. Juan Lobe, Daja, Genon Sos, Mameta, Nanato, Shavet, Shano Songa Juve, Nanjo Cheese, Nada Shindo, Sheva Shinji Lowas, Kashi Riban Zumbe, Tencho Com, Songshi, Rasun Dembe, Lizun Tes, Ramni Lanja Toba Tajones, Consonio Toba Shinji Lowas, Tati about Lunda was a Tajo, Tati.
So this was the oral transmission of the root text. So now the meaning of it will come gradually as we go through the commentary. There is no need to give now the explanation, because as the meaning comes clearly as we go through the explanation. So we will go now to the commentary, which is called Tende Silveterce Dasser. So this commentary. So it starts with the praise to the Guru as inseparable of Vajrasattva. And by that I will write this profound commentary in the commitment of the writing the text also. So in this, so those that the holder and realizer of all the teachings of Buddha Lama Tsongkhapa, the great master, Panchen Losang Panchen, the all-knowing one omniscient Losang Chögyi Gyaltsen, as he wrote the request of the courageous heroes gaining liberation by overcoming the fears of hazardous passage of the intermediate states. In order to make it easy, I wrote this commentary. So in the very beginning, first need to take refuge and generate the bodhicitta. So this commentary explains how to practice this text of the Bhagavad. So in the beginning, by making the Guru Yoga, after taking refuge, generating bodhicitta, make also the Guru Yoga with the 7 limb prayers. And also by making request to the Guru as being inseparable from the Idam again. Also as like when making the normal sadhanas of anyone of like Yamantaka, Heruka or Goyasamacha, after making the self-generation and after making the Dharma offering, or after making the praises and offerings before the Dharma offering, you can stop making the practice at that time. So this part is divided into 4 times. The actual requests, the actual prayer is divided into 4 parts. First, the preliminaries, the actual instructions to be given at the moment of death. Okay, so now Rinpoche was just reading it, so now I'll give a short explanation of the first part of the text. So this commentary was written by Kundan Tempe Drenme. So the first line says, I will write this commentary after placing respect to the one that gives the refuge of this in future life, the one that grants the state of union of great bliss and emptiness. To you, Guru Vajradhara, I pay respect, and by that I compose this text. So, to you, the good Guru Vajradhara, whose wisdom spreads through all phenomena. So whose quality of mind is the mind that is the all-knowing one that spreads through all phenomena. To you, Guru Vajradhara, I pray respect from his body, speech and mind. And by paying respect, I will write this profound commentaries. So at this text, the one Panchen Losang Chögyi Gyaltsen, who have realized all the secrets of Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings. So it's saying that Panchen Losang Chögyi Gyaltsen has great knowledge and qualities. He said like Panchen Losang Chögyi Gyaltsen is like a container holding all the secrets of the mind, the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa. It's the first quality. The second, that is like a real that have reached the whole realizations, which is like as an actual Buddha, an emanation of Buddha Amitabha, as we normally say. Holder of the complete teachings of Buddha from Sutra and Tantra. So this one with such three great qualities. The Panchen all-knowing one Losang Chögyi Gyaltsen, that he have wrote the prayer of the Bardo. So I'm going to now write a commentary to make it easy to based on the commentary on how to practice this practice. So the name of the text is called Bardo Changdral. It's called Chang is like is a bad place, or a place where there are many thieves, and a difficult place. It's called Chang. It's translated in the text as hazardous passage, places where people by passage can fall. It's like it's a dangerous place. It's called Chang in Tibetan. Place where there are many thieves and many robbers and many enemies. This is what is called Chang in Tibetan, like a hazardous passage. So a place where there are a lot of fears. When we think about such a place, there is a place where there are fears. It's a difficult place. So the Bardo is like a Chang, it's like a difficult, dangerous place. Similar to that. During the Bardo, there is a moment of a great solitude with no help. So the Bardo is such like a sort of dangerous place called Chang. Truth is that this can bring a great fear. So this is the prayer which says that will liberate from such fears. So it's like the courageous hero gaining liberation by overcoming the fears of the hazardous passage of the intermediate state. So it's the hero that gains the liberation by overcoming all the fears. So in order to make easy in the beginning, first need to in the beginning of the practice, first need to generate the motivation by taking refuge and generating the bodhicitta. Then to do the Guru Yoga connected to one of the yidams such as Yamantaka Samajara Hiruka. And then after making the Guru Yoga, you should make the seven limb prayers and mandala offering and make strong prayer requests to the Guru as inseparable from the yidam. So in the beginning, first generate the motivation and then take refuge in bodhicitta. I need to clean one's own mind stream, need to clean one's own motivation. The refuge and bodhicitta are very important. I will reach the wish to reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. The mind of bodhicitta, it's very important to generate it, and by the refuge and bodhicitta, this will clean one's own mind stream, make one's own mind stream pure. Generally speaking, if we are the beginner practitioner, as we wake up in the morning, first thing is to take refuge and generate the bodhicitta a little bit with calm and time. If we don't think this, or if in the right morning, if we take in the morning, or a text, or take the mala in the hand, or to recite like the three main aspects of the path in the morning, or to start away already start making one's own daily prayers. If we really think well, as we wake up in the morning, already start first generating the correct motivation and then taking refuge and generating the bodhicitta sincerely since early in the morning. As we have gone very much with many friends and many people, so we have seen it many times. Those that really think well, that really practice well, first they wake up, stay in silence and reflecting, taking refuge and generating the bodhicitta calmly with time. Then slowly start to make recitations and reading, and then taking the mala and making mantras or whatever. Not like this. Then if we wake up already right away, already start taking the mala or reciting something or taking a text. And not already thinking really well about it. So we should first, when we wake up, it's important to first need to clean one's own mind, make one's own mind stream pure by taking refuge and generating the bodhicitta. As I said in the Lama, generating the motivation is the first step of meditation. So on the beginning of meditation, there is generation, the motivation. So by thinking in this way. So I was not that during the last night. Now I'm so fortunate that I have waken up this morning. I'm very fortunate that, as Lama Tsongkhapa said, even though we are in the mouth of the Lord of Death, we have waken up this morning, have not that, and by that we still have the conditions that we have the ability to practice the teachings of Buddha, as we have faith in the teachings of Buddha on the path, and we have the willing to practice the Dharma. So we are so fortunate. So in the morning as we wake up, we should clean our mind, continue by generating the correct motivation. So first, in the beginning, clean your consciousness by generating the correct motivation, by taking refuge and generating the bodhicitta. And after, you should do as connected, should do the Guru Yoga connected to the Yidam practice, such as Yamantaka, Samajo, Hiruka, through which, by seeing the Guru as inseparable of the Yidam, you should make the 7 limb prayers, mandala offering, and making the requests, strong, deep requests. So you make, for example, as if you make in Ganden Mahamudra, if we think as example of the Guru Yoga of Lama Chopa, inside of it there is the 70 prayers and the mandala offering. And if you think Ganden Mahamudra, there is the merit field which is connected both to Sutra and to Tantra. If you think the Guru as Lama Chopa with the 2 spiritual sons, that I have been invited into a beautiful throne and precious throne in front of you, coming from the heart of Guru, of Buddha Maitreya, and then coming into the space in front of you in a joyful manner, sitting on a throne with a lotus flower, a moon, and a disc seed, sitting in front of you. And at his heart, there is Buddha Shakyamuni. At the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni, there is, for example, Heroka Chakra Sambhara, or Yamantaka. Whatever is your yidam, you can connect it to it. If you think in this way, then naturally it becomes a merit field connected to the Tantra practice. If you don't think about that, if you just think that the Guru, Lama Chopa with the disciple, they are joyfully sitting in front of you, then this is a sutra way of generating the merit field. Like in Ganden Mahamudra, the merit field can be connected both to Sutra and to Tantra. So in the heart of Guru Lama Chopa, there is Buddha Vajradhara. In the heart of Vajradhara, there is Heruka Chakra Sambhara, or Yamantaka, Father and Mother, and so on. So this is the merit field related to Tantra. So to the Guru inseparable of the Idam, you make the 7 limb prayers, a mandala offering, and requests. So by that you make very strong requests. Thinking on the meaning, you should make requests. Since the Guru inseparable of the Idam, you should make blessing requests. By seeing the Guru and the Idam, it's inseparable. I said in the Lamrim, it's how important to see the Guru and the Idam inseparable. So, but I don't need to put effort in the accumulation of merit and purification by making prayer requests also to the Guru and inseparable from the Idam. When practiced the Tantra, it's the main pathway, it is the Idam. The Idam is extremely important. We need to know the meaning of Idam. Idam and the deities. They are very, very important, but Idam is very important. But we need to think that such Idam, it needs to be in the same nature, we need to be seen in the same nature as the root Guru. Inseparable and of the same nature of the Guru, inseparable from the Guru. This is of great benefit. We need to think as a Guru as being inseparable of the Yidam, vice versa, and to whom we make a prayer request. For example, if it's Tara, for instance, then we should say Tara as being inseparable and of the same nature of the Guru. It is very important to think in this way, to see the Guru and the Yidam as inseparable, and by thinking on this meaning you make deep, strong prayer requests. As like in other practices, after finishing to meditate on the mandala of the deity, after making the self, this means when making the self-generation, self-empowerment, when we take the self-empowerment of Hiruka or Guya Samaja or Yamantaka, and making the self-empowerment. So how it's also possible to the practice in relation to the practice of the mandala of the deity. It's possible to practice this prayer of the liberation of the hazardous path of the Bardo also in that. Or just in a common frontal generation, like a self-generation sadhana. So normally, so after making the Torma offering, or in the self-generation after making the praises and offerings. So after that, then you should start with the actual practice of the Bardo Chandra. So the actual Bardo Chandra request is divided into 4 parts. First, the introductory practice, preliminaries, preliminaries of the common path. Then there is the advices in the moment of death, the advices for the Bardo, and the advices regarding taking rebirth. The first part, it has made of 3 verses. So from the first 3 phrases, the first one says Namo Guru Manjo Gokaya, in which the Guru is seen as inseparable of the Yidam Manjushri, to whom prostration is made. Namo Guru Manjo Gokaya in the root text, as is said in the root text, is making praises to his prostration, prostrating and making offerings to the Guru inseparable of Buddha Manjushri. Then after this comes 3, the first shaloka, the first verse. Here comes the meaning of the root text. To the three Tathagatas, Dharma and Supreme Assembly, I and all my greatest beings equaling in the infinite space without exception, go for refuge until the achievement of essence of enlightenment. For this sake, please liberate us from the fears of the intermediate state. So we're a strong mind of faith in the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha by seeing as the only refuge for oneself and all sentient beings. We request, please liberate us from the fears of this life, from the bardo and future rebirths. So we take commitment to take refuge until we reach the state of enlightenment ourselves. So as from this moment until we reach the state of enlightenment, we take refuge in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha as our only refuge. We make a sweet commitment that we'll take a stable refuge. So please liberate us from the fears of the bardo, of the intermediate state. So the fears of the intermediate state will come later in the text. So the second line says, the meaning of the second verse. This noble base of human life is so very hard to find and easily decay. Now it's time to choose between gain over loss and happiness over suffering. Don't get distracted by the meaningless activities of so only this life. Please bless me to be able to extract essence of great purpose. So it says, as this very precious life with the 18 qualities which is so difficult to find, with many reasons, many causes, many conditions in order to end very quickly, just like the candlelight in the middle of very strong wind. If at this moment we found one's only opportunity of having this rebirth, from now on, at this moment, we have the freedom to choose our own actions, and because we have freedom by having good conditions, So we are not going to be distracted by meaningless activities. So we are going to do great actions we make this life meaningful by practicing the Mahayana Dharma, and by that we will gain the essence of this life. So please bless me to be able to do that. Please bless me to be able to recognize the preciousness of this life and to recognize how difficult it is to find, so how rare it is to have such a precious human rebirth. The meaning of this is very, very clear within the text itself. So this human rebirth with all the 18 special qualities, with the 8 leisures and the 10 richness. So we have liberated from the 8. We have the 8 freedoms and the 10 positive conditions that we have gained all these conditions. So we also wish to hope to have the same type of conditions also in our future lives. But to have such a positive human condition is very difficult to find. All from the essence way it's difficult to find. From the example way it's also difficult to find. So from the cause it's also difficult to find. From whatever way we see how rare and difficult it is to find such a positive rebirth of all the different conditions, all the 18 conditions. Hence, when we look from the examples, so like following the metaphor, Geshe Thubten Kadampa, they made 12 metaphors showing how difficult it is to find such human rebirth. So as for example, as the turtle living in the deepest part of the ocean that comes once in a very long time to take air and so on. And so on. There are many different metaphors with showing how difficult it is to find such rebirth. But at the same time, there are too many causes in order for us to die. So we have the certainty of death, the certainty of the uncertainty of the moment of death. There is nothing that we can do to avoid death. And we have no certainty of the length of the life. Yes, which is defined in many different reasons why we have no certainty of the length of our life. So we have many causes to die and very few causes to be kept alive. There are much more conditions for dying than there are conditions actually for us to be kept alive. Just like a flame in the middle of a very strong wind. If we put on a candle in the middle of a very strong wind, it's very easily going to be turned off. Similar to that, at this moment we have reached this very good body, these very wonderful conditions. We have reached these very good conditions of this life in this moment that we have got this rebirth. From this moment on, we should not lose it within the distractions as this moment, which is the moment in which we do have true freedom. We should not be just like a cow or any other animals. We should really take this life into our hand and make it meaningful without letting ourselves be distracted by meaningless activities. So we need to make this life meaningful. We need to take the essence of this life. We need to make it meaningful. So we make this blessing. Oh, please, Guru Buddha, please bless me so I may be able to make this life meaningful. So if we take normally, we are very attached to the activities of only this life. We are very attracted. We see very important activities only of this life. If we think about this, as just was said, the animals also, They also have a lot. They put a lot of effort also into realizing the actions of this life, of looking for one's own food, and taking care of one's own body, to find, looking for pleasure, avoiding suffering, and so on. The animals are very much able to do that also. As we have found this precious human rebirth, if we just get loose on if we just pass a life being distracted also by only our mere livelihood, then there is no much difference between ourselves and animals also in this way, if we simply survive. So instead we need really to take up on our hands our freedom and practice well virtue. We need to practice a dharma that is directly connected to one's own mind stream. If we do that, this is also of benefit for the future rebirths. So by that, not being distracted by all different, by not being distracted, and by we should make this life extremely meaningful by practicing well the Mahayana path. So please, Guru Buddha, please bless me to do that. By that we recognize the preciousness of this life and how difficult it is to find it and to so, and it has such a good human rebirth. It has a great meaningful. It's very meaningful because it can fulfill both the momentary needs and the ultimate needs. If we think in this way, in this world, if we think about this world, you know how things are in this world. If we think about the actions of this life, it is like this. As we found this precious human rebirth, which is very meaningful for momentarily and ultimately, it's extremely meaningful. We can do great things for this and for future lives. It's possible to reach a state of liberation and ultimately Buddhahood. This is all possible because of such human rebirth with such good conditions. So these conditions of the human rebirth are extremely precious and difficult to get. It's very rare. By thinking on that, we need to generate the mind of recognizing the preciousness of life and how rare and important it is. So the third verse. All collections end with separation and all accumulations ends with uprunning out. The high ends up falling, the birth ends up with death. But the time of death is indefinite and unknown. Please bless me to generate the sense of no time to waste in my mind stream. So during this life, as we go through it, our friends and the families and everyone that we meet, at the end there is separation. But we have no certainty of how long we'll live. So this body, as we are born, finally, it will be taken by the Lord of Death. At that moment, as the body is taken away, only the mind itself will go away. Not only that, not only will die, we have no certainty where it will come, in how many, how long, how many years, or how long. So we have no certainty of that. So we request the blessings, please, as we don't know how long we are going to live. Please bless me so that I can quickly, as quick as possible, make this life meaningful by practicing the pure Dharma. So this is now showing, this third line is showing that to train the mind into the certainty of one's own death. So the meaning of it is come. So in the beginning, everything that is gathered, which it can be as business people gather, or for how long they make, for 1, 2, 3 days they are making meetings and gathering for business and so on. And then also friends and families and so on, whenever there is gathering. For how long, it doesn't matter, 1, 2, 3 days, whatever, or for maybe a few weeks or whatever time. In the end, without any freedom there must be separation. So the end, the conclusion, after union, there is always celebration. It doesn't matter how long you stay together, a few days and so on. If it is in a meeting, if it's a gathering of friends or business or family or whatever. Just as the bees go after the honey, as in the same way you go after the pleasures of this life, and all the material things that after putting a lot of effort you accumulate things. For a simple monk, there is not much accumulated in one lifetime. But most people during lifetime putting a lot of effort, just like a bee gathering honey during the lifetime, putting a lot of effort accumulating material things. And in the end, all these things are gone. It is not possible to keep them for a long time. And we don't know we are not even certain that we can experience, we can enjoy the things that we accumulate. As it says, the end of accumulation is that it will end. It will run out. It will end. So because everything is impermanent every moment, it is transforming at every instant. It doesn't matter how many things we accumulate. In the end, at one time it will run out, it will get old, it will end. And we are not even sure that we will be able to experience and to use it. At one moment we need to go, and without, by leaving everything that once have accumulated, death is very strong if we really think well about it. If we practice well the Dharma, that is of benefit for future lives. If we create the causes to reach liberation in the state of Buddhahood, at least to do some good Dharma that is of benefit for the future rebirths, then it's really something that we can look at it, it's really something good. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how much we accumulate of material and power, and by then there is no meaning and there is no essence in it. Not only it will end, but we're not even certain that we can experience what we have accumulated. As a small child, it's like a small child that's throwing an arrow towards the sky. If it doesn't matter how high this arrow may go, finally it will fall down again. Everything that goes up lately come down. This body that is born simultaneously with us during this moment, in the end, there is no other way than death, and to be separated from it. At the end, it becomes just something empty, a thing that we have with no consciousness. So this body itself, in the end of one, when it's taken by the Lord of Death, this body, we take a lot of care and we are very attached to this body. If we think, well, if we do, it's really very powerful, this body of ours. If we just if we only think about this life itself, only think about the pleasures of this life itself, then it's not good. We need to see this body as something that has a good means for us to do something, a good condition. It's like the basis to practice the Dharma. This body needs to be seen as the basis for the practice of the Dharma. Is the stable basis to practice the Dharma, the body. That is how it should be seen. You should think that the body is a very strong basis in order to practice the Dharma. If we think in this way, then that's very good. If not like that, if we just think about using this body to add pleasures in this life or fame or to avoid suffering and gain pleasure only by that self, then that's not okay. Then there's no much difference between ourselves and an animals. So by the end of this life, when we're taken by the Lord of Death, and this body becomes just an empty object without consciousness. As the nomads go from one place to the other, from summer to winter, when they go from one place to the other, the place where they were before, it remains completely empty without no life within. Similar to that, when the Lord of Death comes, it's just like when the nomads go away and the house remains empty. So the body remains with no any consciousness within it. And the mind needs to go alone. So first the gross mind stops, and then the subtle and very subtle mind remain. So truly the one that continues is the very subtle mind of clear light. This is the only thing that remains in the moment of death. When it separates from the body, that's when we have to call the actual death. So at that moment, the mind that needs to go alone, which is the very subtle mind of clear light. So for example, in our mind, all the virtuous actions, whatever with the gross mind, all the virtuous actions have done, even though the gross mind stops, the imprints of the karma, it continues, both of the positive actions or whatever negative actions that we have done also, even though the negative minds, as in the moment of death, from the gross mind and subtle life, they all dissolve. The imprints of such negativities and negative actions and positive actions, they all remain in the very subtle mind. So in the end, what continues is the very subtle mind of clear light, where are the imprints of the actions that we have done during this and previous lives. So as it continues in the subtle mind, and from that it manifests later as the result. So as we have no certainty when will be the moment of our own death, not only will die, we have no certainty at all when it will come. We don't know at which year, which month, which day. We have no certainty at all of year, of month, of day. We have truly thinking we have no certainty about it. We don't know if we are going to die today or not. So when we think about the certainty of death, we need to practice the Dharma. When we think about the certainty of the uncertainty of the moment of Dharma, we need to practice Dharma right now. When we understand that in the moment of that there is nothing else than helping us in the practice of Dharma, then we understand that we need to practice only the Dharma. So first we understand that we need to practice Dharma, right now, we need to practice only the Dharma. So was taught in the teachings of Lamring also. So we have no certainty when we are going to die. So we need to leave behind all the mundane actions, such as just accumulating things or trying to protect one's own friends and to go against one's own enemies. And we need to live, we need to go against enemies and to uphold one's own friends. So basically it's the meaning of attraction and aversion. So all these actions, we need to leave them behind. There is no point on them, there is no meaning on them. We need only to practice the Dharma. So we make the request, oh please Guru Buddha bless me, may I quickly be able to practice only the Dharma and leave behind all the meaningless actions which are only of this life. We cannot live as long as we like, just as we want. At a certain moment we need to die when we least expect it. We have no certainty of ours. So we make the blessing, request the blessing, oh please bless me, so I may be able truly to understand the preciousness of this life, the certainty of death, and by that to make this life meaningful. So this is the moment in which we turn to get familiarized with the certainty of the death. In the preliminaries of the part of the text or in the Mahamudra, the beginning is just like the lumbering. So the practice of lumbering is extremely important. As you see, it appears again also here. So it's showing the way how to train the mind on the certainty of death. And second, the actual advice for the moment of death, which is divided into two parts. Eliminating the interferences to meditate on the path, and by generating a mind which is coherent with the Dharma at the moment of death, and how to meditate on the advice for the moment of death. So there are 4 lines. First one, by eliminating the interferences for the moment of death and developing the mind, a mind which is according to Dharma at the moment of death. And there are 4 lines, about four verses of that. In the conceptually hallucinating city, grasper and graspered, and the impure 4 elements, illusory aggregate space separation of consciousness with many kinds of death. Please bless me to pacify the suffering and sharp pains in the individual body. So in the moment of death, as the body which we received from the sperm of the father or of the mother, gradually it will be degenerated as the elements will dissolve. Our consciousness will get more and more subtle. So at the moment, out of many different conditions, external, internal, sicknesses and so on, we may have where our elements starts to become weak. At the time the body, the winds, the elements, the basis of our consciousness, our subtle channels, they stop. And so please bless me that in the moment of death, may I have a death where the element dissolves without strong pain, and in a moment, in a peaceful way. So it's very important to make prayer requests in order to have good death. Good death. So in the first verse, so the root of suffering is the ignorance that holds that inherent existence. And by such ignorance, we are wandering into this city of samsara, which refers to this five aggregates, to this body and aggregates. And by that we are like turning into, going around, wandering into this city in samsara, or well, samsara, which refers to this body itself. And this body, which was developed from the sperm and the ovum from one's own parents, from earth, water, fire, wind, from the four elements. It is made by the four elements. So starting from the sperm and the ovum of the father, slowly developing through the four elements, this body has been developed, and within which it goes together with one's own mind. So it's going to be separated from the Lord of Death, from death itself, from the Lord of Death will be separated. So in the moment in which the body and the mind will be separated from the Lord of Death, which means the actual moment of death. So there is different causes for that, like external, internal, sicknesses and so on. From different causes, the elements are shaken. So the place of the winds and the cell elements and the channels that sustain life, they get blocked, and then so please bless me, so that I may die without pain and in a peaceful manner. So please bless me that may all the suffering be pacified, and may I die in a peaceful way without any pain and suffering. So that's why it's very important to practice in the moment of death, so that we make the prayers requests for that. If we have very strong pain and then it's very difficult to practice in the moment of death. If in the moment of death we die without very strong suffering, if we die in a state without so much pain, in a very peaceful way, like with no pain, in a very peaceful manner, because if we have very strong pain in the moment of that, then it's very difficult to practice the Dharma at that moment. So, in order for us to die in a very peaceful manner, without any strong pain, this will give us the possibility better to help us to practice in the Dharma by remembering the advices of the Guru in the moment of death. So in order for that, we make our prayer requests. So if we generally think in this way, it's very important. In the moment of my own death, the best is to die in a state of joy and happiness, to die with happiness and joy. If not with happiness and joy, at least to die in a peaceful way, without strong pain and suffering, in a relaxed way. From this very right moment, we need to have no doubts, 100% sure that we are going to die. So since this moment, we already need to start making such prayer requests. May I be able to die in a joyful and peaceful way. Oh, please, Guru Buddha, please bless me. I need to die, so please look upon me. Please bless me so that I may be able to die in a peaceful and joyful manner. May I die without strong pain and suffering. We need to start thinking on that right now. We cannot wait in the moment of death for that. In the moment of death, it's possible to think about. We need to start thinking about that right now. Now that we have a good body, we have a strength both in mind and body. So this is the moment when we die in a peaceful. The best way of dying, joy and happiness. Fear. Since this moment we need to think about it, we need to make prayer requests again, every day generating such motivation. I believe that this is of great benefit. Because we need to die well. The moment of wanted, we all need to die well. If we need to think on that right now, if we can start realizing it since this moment, we can prepare well. If we never think from now and we just wait the moment of death, that moment will be impossible. At that moment, we need to forget everything, or we need to, because as the gross mind loses and it's just a subtle mind appears, in that moment we cannot remember of anything. We cannot remember our family or anything else, So we need to prepare since this moment by making also one's own prayer requests. As we heard about many other practitioners at the moment of death, they stay in meditation during the moment of death. When I was living in Tibet, I never heard so much about someone was staying in the state of meditation in the moment of death. Nowadays we have a lot of seeing people that stayed in the states for a very long time, like 25 days in meditation in the moment of death, or 15 days and so on. And many people are very well known that if it's truly like this or not, well, I don't know, but it's very well known in this. If someone is really truly staying in the state of meditation in the moment of death, it is by generating the state of the very mind of clear light. He said that for 3 days it will take the time. It's 72 hours. During this time, the mind stays more relaxed. And during this period, to generate the mind of earth clear light within the state of great bliss and realize this is the best state of meditation in the moment of death. If we can think that it's not easy at all to generate such state. We need to prepare ourselves since now. We need to study, we need to comprehend, we need to meditate. If we do not prepare from now, it's impossible to gain it later. So it was said here. So, out of that to die in a very way. Just may I go to sleep as we sleep on the right side and remembering us when Buddha Shakyamuni passed away. And may I also, when I die, be able to die just as Buddha Shakyamuni passed away. Then Rabten passed away exactly in the same manner as laying down on the right. I had never saw him. He stayed for a very long time in meditation in the moment of that. But in the when there was the Buddhists know that as it fell on us, it would look. It was like this deadly cherished of this life is or by author and so on. I think, well, when we most need it, that's the moment when it completely gives us, the very most of the body, and separates from oneself. So, and that moment is possible to the Lord of judgment and fear and of his suffering. So, in the moment of one's own, so out of fear in the moment of death. May I be able to harm myself in a peaceful manner, in a peaceful way. May not be taken by fear and strong interferences for us. So, to die without fear, with a peaceful, virtual state of mind. So now the third verse. When the doctor's treatment is of no avail and pujas can at such a time oneself is confused, not so may I be able to meditate on that, may I be able to think of that. May at that moment I would not forget, may I be able not to forget, because right now when we start getting older, we start forgetting things. For the remember now, right away forget again. As we remember, forget again. A memory, we lose a lot of memory also during a lifetime itself. So may I be free from the interferences of forgetting the advices and of a fear. So then after that comes the fourth line. It says, food and wealth accumulated through mindfulness have been left behind. One will be forever separated from deadly close and loved ones, and has to depart to the very fearful place, all by oneself. Bliss bless me to have all the confidence and delightfulness and joy. Not only we need to leave behind all the things that we have accumulated and the families and the people that we love and so on, but we need to go all by ourselves alone into the state of Bardo. At that moment, maybe clearly not to feel lonely and to be strong, but to be inseparable from the Guru and the three jewels. We're in a state of joy and happiness, may be able to go in that state. In the moment of death, all the appearance that appears, may they be able to be transformed into the path. May we make such a prayer request. So by practicing virtue in the moment of death, may we die in a joyful state of mind. So the fourth verse says, so during the life we accumulate things with a lot of mindfulness and so on, but we need to give all away, all the things to which we are very attached, we need to leave it all. And in this life, all one's own family and friends and people with love and care for us. And we have no other choice but to be separate from them, and not when we are never going to meet once again within that same body and state. But it's not normally when we separate from someone, we know that we're going to meet again, it's easier, but and go to a place where we have never gone before. Not only that we don't know, but then a place that can be with fear and suffering. So to this Bardo, we need to go alone, and without any choice. We are forced to go through this. In the past one, Kyaje Trijang Dorje Chang. In the Bardo that we need to go by ourselves. In the Bardo that That's really when are always the same when we get alone, where we give up all the material things and so on. Whether it's when really when we need to go by ourselves without others' support or help. At that moment, so at that moment, without any mind of agitation or suffering, it's instead with the feeling just as when a child goes back to their own parents' home, going back home, as we go back to the essence of Guru Yidam and the rituals. So, in the moment of death, whatever things that appear, may we see it just as the path to enlightenment, as we may be able clearly to remember the path, and it becomes like friend, like a help for our own path. So, if we meditate, if we familiarize well with the path during the lifetime, then it can appear to our mind at the moment of death. So we make request for it to appear in the moment of death. So in the moment of death, if we should be able to bring the mind to a state of virtue. In the moment of death, if we're able to practice well virtue, to enter into a state of meditation. Very subtle mind of clear light is very difficult to generate to one's mind. The moment of death is too difficult to generate it. So if we need to train since this moment to how to generate the state of clear light within great bliss, and from that to meditate on emptiness, to think about emptiness. If we need to train on it again and again since this moment, then in the moment of death, at least we can get it something similar to it, if not actual one. And at least we can train to place a very strong imprint in one's mind. That's something very important. So we need to make prayer so that we can die within the state of bliss by practicing the Dharma that we have practiced during our lifetime. So we will leave here for today. We will leave here for today. It's sorry about what we should think in the moment of one's own death. When we talk about the bardo, if we practice well virtue during this lifetime, in the moment of the bardo will come a good bardo, without fear, having a good appearance and perception, with very small sufferings. If we live this life in a very unvirtuous way, then we have a very difficult bardo and fearful bardo, with many fears and difficulties. This so was taught. The meaning is that we truly need to accumulate virtue and abandon negative actions, most of all generate a good motivation. We need to really think about how to generate the correct motivation. It's why we need to generate, for instance, when driving a car. So like the driver, he can choose whatever he wants to do with the car. If he goes to the right, left, goes fast, slow, stop and do, he has all control over the car. Similar to that, our more motivation, if we generate a good motivation, then we will go to that direction also. So from that motivation, it's very important. So motivation is something that we need to cultivate, we need to generate it daily. If we don't have time to generate the motivation, at least we can, even while we are doing things and going, we can still generate quickly our motivation. So if we have time to sit down and reflect and meditate, that's the best. If not, even while we are going and doing, we can still generate the motivation. Think about it. Motivation is extremely important. If we really think well about, by motivation itself, we generate virtue. There are different types of virtues. If we think well, it's called the virtue of motivation. Such as, if we motivation such as the of bodhicitta, by that it becomes part of the Mahayana path. If we think about, okay, I want to be free from the lower realms of existence, and because of that I want to accumulate virtue, it's a smaller virtue. If we meditate, if we wish to get free from samsara, it's a middle. If we want to help all sentient beings, they're great. So different levels of virtue according to the motivation that we generate. So it's very important to generate the correct motivation. So we'll leave here for today. So in the next 2 days we most probably will finish the text upon the Bardo. For the next 2 days. There's not so much left on the text. There is not much more to say. So all that was said, please kindly put it into practice as we dedicate all the merits that we have here accumulated for the benefit of the teachings and all sentient beings, especially for the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa to remain for long in this world for the benefit of sentient beings. We now make the offering of the mandala to the most venerable Gyaltsen Rinpoche, Thubten Trinley Rinpoche, as a form of gratitude, a sign of gratitude for having given us these precious teachings.
Choeling 别当作家的作业念真的老金学习生命。天马和也的南北的心的干的大吉地基，下着朗作念之子马面，朗言到真的结子，这着拉面个真念大大两边干的八面点掉，多年年年的老那面也真了有个中郎主意。一些天别大健康也早，这边些我就多小点，东边这两周龙就别小，别这的新年嘎这。条路所的多年用这高一真的把这里搞到这边大吉。天别真的别老包子，今年多节的节小的，年尾做了的庄子，羡慕年就结果工作，大多写着送的朗多南月的老索。面前那天别多节到自然年末节也节别，年节早上去水茫茫，节约阳节见不小的，多年看了节约真的月，月面家让谁打破，尝到面别样的家别点，同年到没老包说。多年上的心别真的结，多年真别特别忘了，所以上我娘那个我比那些广东真别晓得，过夜我从结明我，所以上我年别面子，天天干的见面所以的，大多见面就啰嗦。我就现在上街当年嘛，最近自己上街当嘛，前面今年多节，过年春节那么小的就多年真的去掉卡托尼，见了自己年嘛今年，那天去给那呀比。那面高真去了所望的，也是那面高在那边。那么真的就见吧，我上天边真没啥说，若月面是大多年就，这位天气比牛高，你给那我真些新年，学习上天月真的也到了天把我人都最后年南边的左一年高呀的yan ba ga ji ya sa ya ba ya ni lo mi ya ma ji ge da ya do wa ya na ya ji ja ya wa ya ba ya da ya ji da ya ni ya ma ya se be ya ze da ya gue ya da ya mi ya ji ze ya ji zoi ye mi ya ji ma gu ya za la wa ji ni ji na ni ji ye ra gi ye ji ya do bi la wa ji cho ya zha ye zi ya zhang bi ya da ge ro ye ji mi ma ye se ye xian ya ye de ma ye liu yan zi ye zhu ye ma ye liu ji ye zhu ge ye ma ye jiang chao ye jiang ye nian ba ye zhu bi zhu liun ye jie qian bei ye da ye jie ma yi ye de se wa ye xie ba ye zhu se ye jie ye jia ye mi zhu jie ne ye zhu ye zhang zhu ye la ye jie zhe ye mi ye 多的那
지금 나가는 순간도 저 순간에